Ghana Travels.
Welcome to Ghana Travels, your most informative program on tourism, hospitality, and travel. This week, in our maiden edition, we are speaking to Mr. Charles Osebosu, Chief Executive of the Ghana Tourism Authority. He has so much to offer, and we now take you to his office where the interview took place. Stay tuned.
Ghana Travels.
Today, we are speaking to Mr. Charles Osebosu. Those of us in the industry choose to call him Sir Charles. He has been knighted by the tourism fraternity. As long as I've known him, since the 80s, he's been with tourism. So, in fact, we actually call him Mr. Tourism. It's the good fortune of Ghana, personally, as I think, that he is the Chief Executive of the Ghana Tourism Authority. We have a few questions for him on Ghana Travels. So welcome, Mr. Charles Osebosu.
Thank you very much, Anime, for the accolade.
What is the mandate of the Ghana Tourism Authority?
The Act establishing the authority, the Tourism Act 2011, specifically Act 817, first grants the authority the responsibility to promote the tourism industry on a sustainable basis for both domestic and international market. And there are various responsibilities of the authority which are derived from the vision and the mission statements of the authority. First, on the vision, the authority's vision is to make Ghana the preferred tourism destination in Africa, and thereby increase visitations to Ghana so that the tourism sector can be a lead sector of the economy. And our mission is to conserve and preserve the natural, historical, and cultural heritage, and also creating socio-economic benefits in partnership with the private sector through the provision of unique Ghanaian tourism and hospitality facilities and quality service delivery through well-trained, motivated, dedicated, and committed workforce. So that's our mission statement. Yes. The Act establishing the authority gives the authority a wider mandate, and I will attempt to categorize the various segments of the mandate. Come to talk about promotion and marketing of Ghana as a preferred tourism destination in Africa.
Ghana Travels is brought to you by courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Tourist Development Company Limited, and the Tourism Development Fund.
The authority participates in international fairs and exhibitions to market Ghana. And the authority also undertakes a lot of publication in terms of promotional materials, like documentary films, brochures, posters, and all other branded items that will sell Ghana in the competitive tourism market. And in terms of quality assurance, the authority is mandated to register, inspect, and license all tourism enterprises in the country. It's hotels, guest houses, lodges, restaurants, fast food joints, drinking bars, traditional catering units, which in popular parlance we call the chop arts, the travel trade, that is the travel agencies, the tour operators, the car rentals, And a whole lot of tourism enterprises are registered, inspected, and licensed by the board, by the authority. Yes. And then in respect of assessing and evaluating those facilities and services for classification of these enterprises. For example, we have the 5-star rated hotels, the 4-star rated hotels, the 3-star rated hotels. And these are all classified based on the evaluation of the hotel facilities and service, and especially placing premium on service. And then you also investigate complaints that guests may lodge about the places that they lodged, or any unfortunate incident that may have happened as a result of their stay or experience in some of these tourism enterprises, and then come out with recommendations that will help, of course, improve service delivery. And in extreme cases, then you have to apply sanctions, like maybe suspension of operations and so on. And then we have also the product development that is trying to enhance the attraction size.
Okay.
Yes. You know, you need the provision of infrastructure as well as the provision of superstructure facilities.
Sure.
We don't provide the infrastructure ourselves. There are agencies like the highways, the feeder roads, and then those in the water companies, the telecom companies, and then the provision of electricity and so on. So we try to link up with these agencies so that they can provide the necessary infrastructure to enable superstructural facilities to also be put up in those places for obvious economic benefits in terms of employment generation, wealth creation, and then accelerating the socio-economic development of the local economy, especially the community-based areas. And we also have the research functions that we do, as to carry out researches to know the global trends in the industry, and then also for us to determine our tourist arrivals, tourist receipts, tourist perception about the country, and so on, the expenditure patterns, and so on. And then we have the human resource aspect. Yes, in the human resource aspect, we tend to build capacities through training programs
for your staff,
for both the public officials within the industry and then the private sector. And very soon we are even rolling out a nationwide training program to train those at the front office, food and beverage service departments, the housekeeping departments, the food preparation areas, to train the car rental drivers, and then also tour guides and some tour operators. Yes. Because we realize that service is very key to the success of the industry, and we need to really give training on customer service delivery, and then how to work in a diverse cultural environment, communication skills, how being a professional. These are some of the topics and so on.
Okay.
Yes.
To some tourism news. Are you a fan of unusual hotels? Well, staying in a room with under the sea view is no longer a dream. Get your snorkel gear on and take a peek at this crazy underwater hotel, Dubai. The underwater suites at Atlantis The Palm in Dubai really a fit for the king of the seas. Set alongside a huge aquarium, they are pretty much the most intimate and romantic lodging you could ever dream of, as long as you don't have nightmares about sharks. These unusual hotel rooms cost around 5,500 euros a night. Sub 6 at Myanmar, Maldives. Nothing better than a good party after a good meal. A restaurant by day, gourmet dinner and party venue by night, the Sub 6 is part of the luxurious Myanmar resort. Dance with a parrotfish beneath the waves, or chill with a maritime-themed cocktail like the rum-based Donny's Sailor. while looking into the depths of the Indian Ocean, the water alternative to the Conrad Maldives restaurant. What's holding back African airlines? Africa has the second largest population of any continent, but only accounts for 3% of global air traffic. The reason for taking such a small share of the aviation market have been the same for decades: poor infrastructure, stalled liberalization, high taxes and fuel charges. It also struggles with a lack of routes linking cities, a lack of regular flights, flying them, and a lack of profitable airlines competing. However, with a GDP of sub-Saharan countries expected to grow almost 6% this year, according to the World Bank, there is still the belief that aviation can really take off. Skytrax World Airline Awards, described as the Oscars of the aviation industry, are coveted quality accolades for the world airline industry and the global benchmark of airline excellence. Travelers from across the globe take part each year in the world's largest airline passenger satisfaction survey to decide the award winners. Qatar Airlines won the World Best Airline Award for third time in 5 years. Garuda Indonesia won the World Best Cabin Staff for 2 years running. Emirates won the world's Best In-Flight Entertainment. Singapore Airlines received Top Award, being named World's Best Business Class. Air Asia received World's Best Low-Cost Airline Award for the 7th year running. We bring to your notice upcoming events from the headquarters of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. International Conference on Integrated Quality Management in Tourism Destinations. The World Tourism Organization, UNWTO, at the kind invitation of the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Tourism of Romania, is organizing the International Conference on Integrated Quality Management. On Monday, 11th July, UNWTO Conference on Tourism, a Catalyst for Development, Peace and Reconciliation. Friday, 15th July, the UNWTO Themis Foundation, in collaboration with the George Washington University, is launching the 2016 University course on Tourism and International Cooperation for Development. Deadline for application is 15th July 2016. Friday, 30th September 2016. 13th UNWTO Awards for Excellence and Innovation in Tourism. The UNWTO is currently inviting submissions to the 13th edition of the UNWTO Awards. The award ceremony will take place on the 18th January 2017 during the International Tourism Trade Fair. And on Friday, 30th September, UNWTO Ethics Award call for applications. The World Committee on Tourism Ethics has created a new category of the UNWTO Awards, the flagship awards of the World Tourism Organization for the global tourism sector, and calling for applications. 24-year-old Salom Kobla Dadivo is Ghana's first ever locally trained commercial pilot with instrument and multi-engine rating. He graduated from Mish Aviation School at Tema with an aeronautical knowledge certificate and a private pilot license. He also holds a commercial pilot license from the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. The 6'5" tall Salom was among the first batch of 16 graduates from Ghana's first privately owned, internationally and locally certified aviation school, Mish Aviation School at Tema, Community 22. Every year, Ghana's tourism players fly out to all parts of the world. Their mission: to market Ghana's tourism attraction. The end result: to woo the world to come to Ghana.
Ghana is here, like always, to show you our brand. We are here to tell you about beautiful Ghana. And to also say that within the space of 6 hours, you can fly from anywhere in Europe to Ghana. We are centrally located in the middle of the world. Friendly people are waiting to you. Anytime we come here, we try to show you bits and pieces of the things that we do in our beautiful country, like drumming and dancing, our food, which we will serve shortly, and also to show you our smiles. If you are traveling, I'm sure safety and security is what you look out for. And in Ghana, you can step out at any time of the day and still not have to look back because you are safe. It is a relatively peaceful country, and everybody must see Ghana in the person's lifetime.
These international tourism trade expos include the World Travel Market in London, the ITB of Berlin, the Vacantie of Amsterdam, and the Fitur of Madrid, among others. The video on your screen is just a peek into the world when Ghana takes on the world. Enjoy.
Ghana Travels is brought to you by courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Creative Arts, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Tourist Development Company Limited, and the Tourism Development Fund. Now, you once upon a time were called a Tourist Control Board, and then you came to Tourist Board. Today you are Tourism Authority. This change of nomenclature, I mean, has it affected your anything about you? How has it enhanced or taken away from your mandate?
I think that the transformation is quite evident from the fact that with the transformation from the board to the authority, the mandate has been extended. And formerly, tourism enterprises which are not included in the registration, inspection, and license have now been included. Take, for example, banquet halls, conference centers, golf courses, and eco lodges, even service apartments, service flats, and the attraction sites themselves. See, we didn't have control over the attraction sites, but now with the new act, we are expected to register, inspect, license, and classify the attraction sites, and even get them certified to collect the tourism levy. The very act that established the authority also established the Tourism Development Fund.
Okay.
And the Tourism Development Fund, by that act and the resulting regulations, that the tourism levy regulations, LI 2185, because all patrons of tourism enterprises are required to pay 1% tourism levy. And the operators who collect the levy also pay into the Tourism Development Fund. And if you look at the objects of the fund, for marketing and promotion, for capacity building and training, provision of infrastructure to the attraction size, and then other for research, market research activities and so on. So you realize that there's a vast difference between now.
When you mention the Tourism Development Fund and what it is doing, what the monies that it's accumulating to give you, you also have mentioned what the fund is for. One of them is infrastructure development. It looks like now with the fund, you have no excuse that a place like the way to Kakung back is inaccessible.
I think the operationalization of the fund commenced in 2012 in October, and we are now trying to grow the fund by really investing the fund so that you can realize a substantial yield to be able to undertake all the objects that for the purpose for which the fund was established. So I would say it's an infantile stage, and at a certain point, we'll be able to partner the other agencies who are responsible for the provision of these facilities.
Such as?
Ghana Highway Authority, the feeder roads, yes, and then the water companies, and then the electricity companies, yes, to be able to partner them to provide this infrastructure.
Ghana Travels is brought to you by courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Creative Arts, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Tourist Development Company Limited, and the Tourism Development Fund. You mentioned also when you're talking about a mandate that you are mandated to make Ghana the preferred destination within Africa. What is your trump card in marketing Ghana against these, powerful nations like tourism nations like Kenya and others?
Okay, if you you really take a cursory look at the strengths of Ghana, Ghana is a very peaceful country. It's a politically stable country, respect for constitutional rule, democratic dispensation, warm and hospitable, friendly people. And if you come to talk about our tourism resources, we have diverse tourism resources. We have the natural resources are there. We have the cultural and heritage sites, which have been acclaimed by UNESCO. Yes, and we almost have festivals throughout the year and display of royalty. Yes, and then looking at also the location, it's like a hub in West Africa, and it's connected. If you look at the air-link connectivity, it's also good. So I think that gives us a trump card. And then more also, we have presence in most of the countries in terms of our missions and embassies. And they're all trying to promote the industry. So they also have these promotional materials. Yeah.
So is Ghana a preferred destination?
Yes, Ghana is a preferred destination because if you look at the ratings, some tour operators, travel writers, and personalities who have visited Ghana, and you really reckon the comments and the remarks made about Ghana. Take, for example, the Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization, Dr. Taleb Rafai. What he said is that if you don't visit Ghana, you don't know what you are missing.
He said this?
Yes. During the United Nations World Tourism Organization conference on tourism brand for Africa. So realize that when even we are choosing a venue or a destination for that conference, Ghana was the selected venue. And Ghana is also fast emerging as a destination for mixed tourism. That is meetings, incentive travels, conventions, conferences, events.
Who comes here for convention?
If you look at our past history, we've had so many international meetings here. Yes, like NAM conference. You can name them. Yes. So if I'm giving you an example, I'm giving you an example in that scenario, that ECOWAS meeting of heads of state. See, these are all mega conferences that you can talk about.
Ghana Travels is brought to you by courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Creative Arts, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Tourist Development Company Limited, and the Tourism Development Fund. There you go. This has been most interesting. There is more where this is coming from. Next week, we are going to bring you the concluding part of this interview with Mr. Charles Osebunsu, Chief Executive of the Ghana Tourism Authority. This is Ghana Travels. See you next week.